Pastor Dan here. I am the game master and podcaster for Low Moon and more. Thanks for choosing this podcast. I hope you'll enjoy it. So wherever you're at in the story, I hope you'll pay close attention to detail. Effort has been made to camouflage the most important things amongst the day-to-day adventuring and growth of our adventuring parties. You might be listening to an Origins, you might be listening to an Uprising, you might be listening to an Outsiders, you might be listening to a Palace Pages, and by the time you get this, you may be picking up on yet another group, as all of these are functional in the over 3-decade Low Moon campaign, the adventures, truly, of a young country called Low Moon, and the way it revolutionized its world, and perhaps is on the way to revolutionizing the galaxy. This is going to be fun. Enjoy.
Okay. So, once last we broke, you had arrived from underneath the bandit compound. So, real quick, Autumn, to fill you in, okay? When the party came back out, you recall your party came back out and the town had been ransacked and all the people were gone and the little girl was there, right? Yep, you went back down into the well. You went into the room where... went past where you had gone before, and used the shrinking potions, and one spell to everyone shrunk down. Okay? Everyone. And then you went into the tunnels of the rat warrens that were at the back of that room, and at that point in time, the hypothesis of the party was that they could, by going through those tunnels, find a way to come up under the bandit keep and attack the bandits from inside, which was the best chance that they had because when Charlotte and Mark scouted the bandit keep, it looked pretty impregnable and highly manned. They also had found out that a group of hobgoblin mercenaries was working with the bandits, and Charlotte recognized their symbol and that they were mercenaries for hire and pretty tough and reasonably numerous. And so, basically, they figured the only way to get there was through the inside. They went through, you almost got eaten by a carp. You remember that? I think that was the last thing you were here for.
Yeah. Saved your life. You're welcome.
That was a trout.
It was a trout. Yep, one guy ate a trout. And they fought a dragon that was big for you, but small for, like, if you were full size.
Kind of suited.
And he filled the room with flame, which cost like a lot of people like their clothing and some items and things that were damaged.
Speaking of which, I need clothes.
Then the party came out into a room that had like an altar in it, like you'd worship at, and in the back of it were 6 skeletons chained to the wall, and they had long swords in their sheaths. And but they appeared to be dead people that were hung there. And while the party was in that room and checking it out, in particular, Faze was using his psionic ability to object read on the book that was on the altar and learning about the opposition, basically. And while that was going on, you were attacked from the one hallway exit of that room, and you wound up fighting a group of bandits, the skeletons, which came to life, and Malcor, who turned out to be an evil priest, not a mage. And there was a guy there that nobody knew about at first, who was a goblin. And then the badger guy who fled before, who turned into a badger, was there. And Rake, the swordsman that you guys had fought, that Jake in particular had fought in the other village, until Brunson had helped him.
Who we have on retainer until the charm spell wears off.
Anyway, they had a big battle, and it got ugly, to the point that early on in the combat, Theon cast Withdrawal. When he cast Withdrawal, you entered Withdrawal with him because you have the spell. But you don't have it now, because obviously you used it and got it back yet. But anyway, you went in with him, and Malcor, who was a priest, and at that point in time, that was the first that people realized he was a priest, went into the Withdrawal. So for about 4 or 5 minutes, you, Theon, and Malcor were in the Withdrawal together, and everybody else was stopped in time. You hit him once. Theon tried to cast a couple spells on him. He tried to cast a couple spells. And then...
I got put up and killed him.
Yeah, and actually that's right. At the end, Theon took him down. That's what happened.
And then he wasn't dead, and I was going to kill him, but...
And he was laying on the ground, bleeding out, whatever. He's unconscious. And then, then the withdrawal ended, and the battle ensued, and all of a sudden it was, back to fighting bandits and skeletons. Well, then, you were right there in the hallway by Melkor, and were attacking the Badger Man from behind, and the party was fighting him from the front, and all of a sudden you got hit from behind with what felt like a dagger and short sword, and you were put into unconsciousness, backstab. Like you did like 25 points of damage or something like that in one hit. Well, 2 hits really. So you went down, and then apparently the goblin, so you were unconscious for a while, and then the goblin administered a potion to Melkor and got him up and out. The party didn't realize what was going on at first, and then the party won that battle. They saved you, defeated the enemy, defeated the skeletons, and they did that. Once you woke up, you found out one of the ways they did it was by charming Rake, who was the swordsman. The Badger guy ran, but he ran before you were conscious, so you didn't know about it.
So we turned the Badger too.
Not later. So then the party went to go into a second room down the hallway. By now, everyone's enlarged, and the bandits that are coming in are enlarged. And Jake held the hallway and beat up like bandit after bandit after bandit until the bandits retreated, and then Jake and everyone with him pushed into the room. Well, that left you and Charlotte at the back, and also Vazor. But you were at the very back. I'm sorry, and Face. And you were at the very back. Well, as the party was engaging the new combat in the second room, the Badger guy came from behind and took you and slammed you in the wall and knocked you out. Only part of which was real damage, but you were unconscious. FaZe and Charlotte fought him, and FaZe wound up charming him. So he switched sides and became on the party side. And then the battle in the next room, you pretty much missed almost the whole battle because you were unconscious or in the other room. But the party was victorious. And they swept through the room for any treasure and that kind of thing, and then they went out into the bandit fortress to find out that Mark and the cavalier guy...
I thought they came in downstairs.
I think Mark did actually come down.
Yeah, Mark came down.
Yeah, to let you guys know.
Made it outside yet.
I think you were just getting outside. So, anyway. So they said that they faced very little opposition. Apparently, you had drained off all the bandits from up above, so then when they came and attacked the keep, they had it pretty easy. They did get you back up. Everyone's conscious. There was a little bit of healing, but it wasn't much. And when the party was coming out into the bandit keep, the villagers were all being freed, cut out of the cages that they were in, and there was no opposition out there at all. And that's basically, quote-unquote, the conclusion of the module, which results in everybody getting the experience, because you successfully saved the village. Sort of.
You want the rest of these pistachios, man?
Sure. I left my snack in my black bag. So it's at home. Try pineapple. Boo-hoo. I'll eat it eventually. Okay. So once you get up there and the villagers are all being freed, it's kind of a mob and a mess a little bit. There were only 2 bodies. They only dealt with 2 bandits up in the keep. It almost immediately strikes Charlotte that you have not seen a hobgoblin the entire time.
I was just about to bring that
up. Yeah. And there's quite a bit of chaos at first, and during that time, Jake and the Badger are not around. Or if you don't know where they went, they just slipped off somewhere.
Where did I go?
Badger Man. I'm sorry, Rake. Sorry. Rake and the Badger Man slipped off.
Really?
Yep.
Rake's playing the
And
We need to find that.
so it's only been 5-10 minutes at most, and you're all out. And this was the period of time when bandaging wounds and things was happening as well.
Where was the last place we saw Rake and the Badger?
Coming out of the cave.
They were coming out with us?
Yep.
Rake said he's going to...
Charlotte, you think you could track them?
You say in the courtyard of the keep, I think it's going to be virtually impossible. if they've left the keep, you just have to get up high. You should be able to see them in the woods. But there are 40-some people from the village here, men and women, mostly non-combatants, and the entire party. And the bandits have been all over the place. The wagons are here, the horses are here, there's pigs and chickens running around the yard. So it's extremely chaotic. But anyway, you start to look around and see what you see. And at about that time, let's see, what's Jake's charisma?
The bottom one, 9.
Huh, nice. Okay.
/17.
17 for coming in.
Okay. He's short and elvenly looking. Goodness.
Somebody want to get up high and look for him?
Random. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What's that?
Don't forget the
7, 8. And the cavalier.
All of my spells. 2 spells in memory.
Yeah. You have 1 spell in memory, I remember. Check your list.
1?
Yeah. First level spell, I think.
You're going to have to meditate.
Of course, I have 4 free cantrips.
Yeah, shrink and there's 1 more. What's the other one?
It says shrink into remind you of fairy fire.
Yeah, entangle. That's the only one you have left.
Fairy water, word,
Gone.
spell, and then withdraw.
Gone. All gone. Only one you have left is entangle.
When did I create water?
In sometime in the battle.
Was it? Oh, it was to put out the fire.
Oh yeah, put out the fire. That's right.
And the
After, because the super dragon had everything on
How
fire.
did I shrink everybody?
You didn't shrink everybody. You shrunk. You.
And then how did they shrink?
Everybody else shrank using potions and 1 spell. You had to unshrink and reshrink after the trout room because you dropped your staff and it became large again. So you.
I got it back, right?
Yeah, you enlarged, got the staff back, and then shrunk back down. So you can travel with everybody else.
This minor hero going too?
Yep, cast it. So you're feeling extremely drained at 6 hit points in 1 spell.
Entanglement.
That's a good spell to have if you're going to be fighting in the woods, though.
I'm feeling pretty drained too. I have 27 health.
Let's rest for a whole day.
It was worse.
29. I will stab you.
You should probably anchor her. She could die anytime. Okay.
Oh, I would use boost on you though. Roll D8.
7.
Recover hit points though.
Yeah.
That's my last time to correct.
No, I have 6 left, 32 left.
Right. Okay. So anyway, you're looking around for them. Theon is in the main group yet. Jan, you're distracted because you had gone out to help open the cages. You were letting the women out. You had compassion on them because they've been locked in the cages. And plus helping corral some of the animals because there's animals all over the place. It's just chaotic. The men had already begun to working on the wagons and basically look like they're trying to get out of here. They want to get people organized to get out. And the people are basically like, thank you, you're the saviors of Wellwind. They began to call you, things like that. And you hear 2 women, and they basically have somewhat draped themselves on Mark the hero and begun to plead with him to save the children. And she says, the children are gone.
You have children?
Okay. She said, yes.
Have we seen any children?
No, there are no children here. There weren't a lot of children in the village in the first place, but there are no children here.
We haven't seen any hobgoblins.
And you guys all
Correct.
Pretty sure I know how they take hobgoblins.
Well, Mark,
Wait, what
I
was
think you
that
got this
girl's
one.
name?
What?
What was that one girl's name? The one who ran away because one of them said just go
Yeah,
hide
I'm
or
trying to
something.
think. Mary.
I'm gonna ask him anyway. He's like,
Yeah. Street urchin, but they took my child.
oh well.
You know where?
Robert.
Who did?
The hobgoblins. They paid the hobgoblins with the children.
Where did they go? Which way? You know?
North and east. Out the gate and that way across the woods. Just not even an hour ago, I don't think.
You told me.
Were they on
could
horseback?
already
No.
eat
We need to go,
like,
quick.
just in your stomach.
I
Eric?
need to save these children.
Anyone in your village capable of healing?
Well, they're all capable, but are they willing?
Yeah, their bodies go naturally over time.
No, not really. there's a healer in the next village over.
Alright, so the next village over. And then the hobgoblins.
No.
Alright, let's go take out some
To
hobgoblins.
the hobgoblins
Who-
and then back to Jack
Who do I have anchored right now?
No one, I don't think, because you did Jake.
No, me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know I anchored somebody.
Okay.
But I'm anchored lower than what I'm at right now because I was a spellcaster the entire time, took 1 point of damage and got 3 points of natural healing. I was just using spells the entire time.
Okay. All right.
Don't forget to try out one of our other Low Moon podcasts.
There are horses here, and there are saddles here, but there's, you don't know if there's enough, but there's horses there.
I'll ask the people, how many hobgoblins were there?
8.
That sounds manageable.
Somebody a lot.
Not even that many, I could take
4 children.
You guys stay here, I'll go get the children.
Alright, you all need to go save the children. I'll stay here and help organize the village.
Okay, sounds good.
That's a good idea.
Do you have any more sleep spells? Okay, go ahead and organize the children.
Do they have a specific leader? Was one of the hobgoblins leading the others?
There was one. He seemed bigger than the others.
I have a charm.
Louder.
Might do it.
We could just kill him.
Alright.
Frankly, I don't want to be friends with the hobgoblins.
Let's see how many horses we have.
No, they're not our horses. We only have the draft horses for the wagons.
Okay,
Steal
good.
their
Yeah, let's see how many horses they have.
So it's our horses now. We took over the fortress. This is our fortress now, too. Did you know that?
I mean,
Telling you, this is how...
Okay. The
this is how
knight
you
swings up
retain
into the
power
saddle
in a
and
fortress.
he raises his
Then the
sword in the
followers-
sky. It catches a gleaming bit of the sun at the tip, and he says, "All heroes, rally to me! We will save the children!"
yeah, we're getting horses.
I go,
Who is that?
Did
yeah.
Charlie
Is that
see if
weird?
there's some arrows?
They said heroes rally, right?
What?
Yeah.
Can
Alright,
Charlie
I'll
look and
see
see
you
if there's
later.
arrows around the sheep?
Crazies need that
Yes,
supply.
yes, absolutely. They seem to use more crossbows than bows, but you can definitely check.
I mean, this might end up like the last
for the
time when
horses.
somebody got
Okay.
killed because...
Yeah, they're not hard to find. They're literally right there. It's just a chaotic mess. And
Hudson.
you have to see what
Remember when
quality
that
can be
one guy
ridden.
died?
And the men are trying to pull the draft horse out, hook them up to the wagons. And
No,
Billy,
no,
inside here, the longest dimension is 120 feet.
It's kind of
In there,
just
there are
this situation.
3 wagons,
Somebody's gonna die.
1 cart,
I feel like it's gonna
huge
be
pile of
bad.
firewood,
He's trying to be heroic.
9
The last
cages,
time.
each 10 foot by 10 foot,
Yeah.
and
I forgot his name.
20 horses.
gallery.
Yeah, that
About a dozen pigs, another 15, 20 chickens,
Just like him.
Alright,
a
well,
couple dead bodies,
I'm going to work on getting
40
some
rescued
horses
villagers. I think we're down to basically like elbow room. That's about what we got. Standing room only.
Are there any war horses?
No, there are no war horses.
Okay, I'll start getting horses saddled up.
Okay. There's ponies and light riding horses, and
Horsemanship.
start pulling them out. Yep. You can make a roll horsemanship, and you roll a d20 for me if you would.
13.
Okay. So you separate out. There are 6 horses that will serve for, riding in the woods with humans on their backs.
There's 8 of us.
10. Okay. You found some arrows. They basically just like sitting in a pile off to one side. Doesn't look like anybody was using them. There's no bow with them. And there are 8 of them.
Oh, those are the cursed arrows. Yeah, we don't need those.
Alright,
Okay. At this point, Rake has returned.
Okay, mark this really fast.
Oh,
What are we doing?
Makes 9? Is that 9?
They all look at him and gasp.
don't worry, he's had a change of heart.
Oh.
Great.
One of them says, "Oh, good. We'll trust him from now on."
I wouldn't quite go that far. No offense, Rick.
Alright,
Where did you go?
I just had to have a talk with.
I hope
Anyway, it's all settled now.
do you know anything about these hobgoblins that took place?
Hold on. What's all settled?
Didn't we talk about this before?
We had a disagreement, but it's all settled now.
In other words, killed the
Is that why he's not here?
Well, it's not wise to disagree with Rake.
Do you know anything about the hobgoblins?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to know?
How hard?
We've been told that there's 8.
Sure. Here.
What's that mean?
Well, they have a fortress of their own.
How far out?
Half a day's travel. 6 hours.
You
Maybe.
guys need to go.
Okay.
Maybe 4 if you're a hobgoblin. They're pretty fast on their feet.
Alright,
We've got 6 horses,
6 horses.
8 people.
So if y'all
and
come with
you
me,
had your own
get on the
horse,
horses.
Right. I don't need a horse, Mark says. I can keep up no problem.
right? Yeah, I knew
So
Mark,
takes the
but
horse and starts tracking
Rake and the Cavalier have their own horses too.
You
Right?
take a horse, go outside, start tracking where they want.
He needs help.
You can stay here and help me organize these villagers.
No, he should go. You're right.
Okay, so
You're staying here.
Rake has his own horse, right?
Murdered one person.
Rake? He does not have a horse, no. He rides in the wagon.
Okay, I grab a horse.
Yeah,
Once they're all settled
You
up,
have a
I
wagon?
grab a horse and
Our wagon's here.
Alright, we're gonna need a wagon. I'm taking a horse.
The cart, one of the women says, the cart belongs to the bandit. The wagons all belong to, oh wait, I think there's one wagon outside. Rake says, oh yeah, my wagon's outside.
I don't care about wagons.
Okay,
Get out
how
the
many people
horses,
can fit
rally
on?
with the knight.
4,
And how many horses does it require?
minimum of 1,
How many do you recommend?
2.
Wait, are we taking a wagon or cart?
Well, if not, we're gonna have to leave another person behind.
Don't care, Brunson's fine.
No, but without Brunson,
Mark said he'll walk.
Okay,
Mark will walk, then we have 8 more.
you need to go.
Alright, get in the cart.
Okay. Mark grabs the cart, huffs it up to one of the draft horses.
Oh, I thought he was going to pull it for a second.
Yeah, he pulls it up to the draft horse.
No, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that is
Go faster with 2.
Like a rickshaw.
Well, the cart really looks like it could probably handle more than 1 horse. It's just 1 horse. The one horse.
Goodbye,
Okay.
The
friends.
wagon that's outside would be better
See you
with
in
2
another
horses.
country.
Oh, that's
Hasta de la Vega.
the Rake's wagon.
Yeah, Rake's wagon would be better with 2 horses.
That's
You're
not
But draft horses.
Which is
Doesn't
Elven
need
for
ponies,
goodbye.
Okay, well.
There are plenty of draft horses. They've got another 18 draft horses, and they only have 3 wagons in here, plus a cart and 1 wagon outside. So that's, you could put 2 on every one, plus 1 on the cart, and still have, what, 11 horses left over. They have plenty
We're
of
going to put 2 on the cart,
Okay.
and the ones that are rideable,
Oh, is
we're
it?
going to ride.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, so,
You guys, as soon as you guys leave,
Drake
I'll
says,
head
who's
back
driving
to
my
that.
cart? Or my wagon?
Janny can drive it.
Do you know how to drive a wagon?
I've done
She's a
it
little
before.
girl.
I've done it
She
before.
usually does it
I did
for
it
us.
last time.
Okay. Well, I don't drive the wagon, I just ride in the wagon.
I was going to say, unless you can drive it.
No, I don't ride horses, and I don't drive wagons.
Riding a horse is pretty.
I mean, I can, but I'm not good at it.
I go ahead and get on the horse and meet up with the
Wait, why do
knight.
we need a wagon? I thought Mark was running with us.
Rake is coming in the wagon, apparently.
Oh.
Rake. I ride in the wagon. That's what I do.
We don't have enough people. We don't have enough horses.
He murders friends and rides in wagons. That's what he does.
We have 4 in the
What do you
wagon.
mean murder? Do you know something?
Look at me.
Okay,
Okay, that was
so we leave Brunson here. And Mark goes on foot. There's 6 of us plus those 2.
Count phase.
I'm riding in front people after.
So then
You're driving the wagon.
we put 4 in the
You
wagon.
have to ride in front if you're driving.
Yeah,
You know, you
that's
can stand in the back behind the seat and just... It's hard to operate the brake from there, though.
There's 4 in the wagon.
Whoa!
There's 4 riding horses, or 3 in the wagon. 5 riding horses. I'm getting the wagon.
Okay, so Janny, Rake, and Bazor are in the wagon.
Anything else in the wagon?
Jake will ride in the front passenger seat.
I'm just going to ride my own horse.
Rake, I'm doing that, I'm sorry. Rake will ride in the front passenger seat.
Rake.
Rake.
R-A-K-E.
Yes, not your brother.
Who
Rake.
names a kid Rake?
Catch up now. Maybe that's why he's a villain. Got a bad name.
He got bullied. He's bullied all his life about his name.
He was born. I don't think so because he was born with a short sword in his hand. He wasn't bullied. He was born with a short sword in his hand.
So he was disciplined.
And to be
Right.
painful.
Or he's the bully.
For his mother.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bullied the
so
people.
you see obvious tracks of the hobgoblins, and they appear to be moving quickly. They started running almost from the moment they left the gate.
As we gotta get going, they're running.
And you do know that hobgoblins are
running.
capable of running for up to 3 days straight, and they move faster than humans running normally, although Mark is faster than they are probably.
Imagine Mark running for 3
Alright,
days
Mark,
straight.
go catch him.
Bye, have fun
Recognize you.
storming the hobgoblins.
Mark says, do you want me to run on ahead and slow them down?
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead!
Don't let them kill the children.
I can go with him. There's no way you all keep up with me on horseback anyway.
Oh.
Who said that?
The cavalier.
He's right.
I'm gonna try and keep up with him.
I can't ride him.
Go ahead. Go as fast as you
What's his
can.
name? Cavalier.
You remember Melissa's name?
Sir Andrew.
No, it's so weird.
I think it's Babardi, but I can't find it at the moment.
Lombardi.
That was not it.
Something weird.
It is something weird.
Coach Lombardi. Lombardi.
I think we should just change it to Sir Andrew.
Lumbago.
Coach Winnebago.
I'm getting more organized. I'm just not there yet. Okay. Parents.
That doesn't sound
Well, that's what it is now. Save the trouble.
When is that day coming up? That's supposed to be.
What day?
October
2 weeks.
1st.
2 weeks.
What?
Nothing. That was a question.
It's a significant date coming up in Janny's history. Okay. And Rake and Janny and Bazor are in the wagon. Charlotte's already outside. So you want Terrence and Mark to go on ahead and try to slow up the hobgoblins?
When are the Griffin Riders supposed to come back for us?
There wasn't a set time.
I thought that they said like in 3 days at sunset or something like that.
Does that sound right to you? 3 days at sunset? Okay, 2 days. So you got 2 days left. Plenty of time to hunt down hobgoblins. Even if you are slightly more weak than normal. Okay. So that's the plan. Rake and Terrence and Mark are going to go on ahead and try to slow down the hobgoblins by themselves.
Yeah. Can I really not keep up with them?
Probably not. You might be able to with horsemanship, but cavaliers have a built-in ability to increase the inch of movement of their horse, so part of their class skills.
I'm going to try.
Okay, so you're going to let the warriors that are not overly injured ride ahead and conflict with the hobgoblins, and then everyone else is going to catch up as soon as possible. Except for Brunson, who's staying behind with the women.
I guess.
Rick, they were just fighters.
You want to ride in the wagon? I mean...
Not really.
Okay.
You mean with the convicted murderer?
Your friend, the convicted murderer, yes?
Well, that's just magic.
Hi, I'm Brunson, and this is my friend, the convicted murderer.
That's just magic talk.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, it was just fighter types of them, right? No magic types?
And I think they had a shaman.
Okay,
One.
Mark and Terrence, you got this.
Okay. You're not going, you don't want to go get the shaman?
How?
Mark says, I don't like fighting shamans, but I'll kill anything with hobgoblin blood.
Okay,
You just kill anything. I don't know.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
If we're away from villagers, I'm going to say something.
Okay.
Is that all right?
You can be. You find a way. They're all gathering outside. Apparently, the villagers are still
Just
inside.
remember that they might try to use the children as hostages, so don't let that happen.
Okay.
Is the cavalier able to take someone on the back, like on their horse?
Yeah, you could.
If you can, pay them off.
Okay with?
You want to ride on the back of his horse?
Yes.
Sure, you're scrawny. Come on up.
Not wrong.
All right.
Leon, are you coming?
Swing
I'm
with it.
staying here.
You're staying at the bandit hideout and help the citizens get back to town?
Or
You're not going to go save the children?
I am 90% dead.
So are most of the people that are going to save the children.
They're probably better fighters than me.
What is he?
He's staying back.
Oh, okay.
He's not going.
That's right.
Ace, you want to go with me?
Oh, we got it. We'll have it done by the time we get
Or are you going to stay here?
You do horsemanship?
I have horsemanship, but I'm okay.
Let me see what you got. Oh, we go. Yeah, sure. In fact, yeah, I can ride my own horse. I might be able to keep up with you.
Okay.
I've never been out raced by a human before. It'll be the first time, if ever there was one.
Charm person work on hobgoblins.
Yes. But you have to be able to speak to them then. It doesn't give you, it doesn't empower the ability for them to understand you.
Alright, I guess I'll get on a horse. Hope they speak common.
Let's hope they speak common.
Or the opposites.
Like communicated.
Or on the cart, or
If I have a choice, I'll ride on my own.
They communicated with.
Greg says,
Bandits,
well, if
so-
we are successful, we'll need the cart to bring the wagon to bring the children back anyway. So. And I don't ride on horses.
I guess Charlie could ride with me.
Don't forget to try out one of our other Low Moon podcasts.
She might have horsemanship. I don't know. Check her sheet, see if it says horsemanship. This party would be like a lot of horsemen. No wonder you guys do so much traveling.
I had to get away from my house somehow.
Not that I see it.
No, we usually
It
have horses.
says
Not today.
tracking percentile isn't a special ability.
Land-based riding.
Okay, so she's land-based riding, so she probably would not be able to keep up. But if you run into an ostrich or an elephant, she could ride it and you couldn't.
Find her an elephant.
Look, a rhino. If only we had somebody to ride it.
I could.
I can ride it.
It's like a really big horse, right?
Okay, so you're saying the plan is you and the wagon are going at fast pace, but not as fast as the lead riders. And then all the lead riders are going out there as fast as they can to try to stop the hobgoblins from getting too far away. That's the plan.
Can Mark track them?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not as well as she can, but they're not going to be hard to track. A hobgoblin runs through the woods. He says, yes, he can run them.
Okay. All right. We got a plan. Let's do this.
And he also mentioned before that the woods here are very similar to the woods of Jacko, which is code words for, I am familiar with these woods enough to get my barbarian abilities here.
And did you get some of those?
I did not, but I'm not too worried about it, actually.
No.
I ate this afternoon, I don't really feel hungry. So.
Anybody else? Mind if I...
How about it? I already have.
Me?
I was going to do it.
Go right ahead.
Here, a little bit? Yeah.
Okay. And so, the heroes of Wellwyn, minus Theon,
Oh, wait, no, Brent's going.
race across the wooded countryside, bouncing around in the wagon, dodging in and out of trees. Soon, the fast riders, Terrence, Mark on foot,
Sour candy.
Jake, and FaZe,
Basil riding with parents.
and Bazor behind Terrence on his horse.
And didn't come with us.
Theon did not come.
You jerk.
No, he was now.
Okay?
It's your fault.
So the people inside the keep, Arden, the people inside the keep begin to look to Theon for help to get them back to town and like
I'm
that.
working on taking all the people back to town. I was working for the governor. I'm working.
Yeah, but the people's children are missing. They're not happy.
So now you're a mercenary with contracts.
Okay. Anyway, so
Especially if they're elven children who care.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm quietly sowing the seeds of racism.
seeds of racism. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Nice. Okay. Horsemanship rolls for the drivers.
Hello.
And Janny needs to roll a d20. I don't think you actually have drive cart, correct? Or
I've done it last time. Though.
okay. So
Pretty
you,
decent with it.
you still need to roll.
And I'll roll
She's
up.
training for proficiency right now.
Okay.
Roll up.
D20.
Higher up.
Roll horsemanship.
I got
6.
15.
Okay.
Everyone's a 1.
All right. Big switch on the back.
Natural 1.
Awesome. Okay.
Like a good digger or something.
Like jumping stuff.
Okay. So you,
Lasso tricks.
Charlotte realizes that she actually, I mean, you could go faster than the wagon, but you can't really keep up with the lead riders. Not because your horse is not healthy or anything, but they're showing considerable skill racing in and out of trees, and they're risking the health of their horse, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job of it. So they have more intentional skill with horses than you do. You are very diversely trained. Like you could ride an ostrich, an elephant, a camel, all that kind of thing. But you can ride horses. It's just not necessarily you're not as focused on that. Okay. Also, Janny has 3 times driven the wagon to a point where she had to back up, which isn't easy, and steer around the trees. There is no road going this way, so you're literally rolling in the woods, and whenever you come to a place where the wagon won't fit through, you have to stop, and Rake gets out, helps guide the horses back, and you have to redirect and go down a different path.
Everybody has to do that if they're still driving. I'm being honest.
Well, if they didn't make better choices than you did, then yeah, they would be in the same boat. So,
Even with the ranger guiding them.
well, she's navigating the woods, but it's like from, let's say, 100 yards away, it doesn't look like you're going to run into a spot where you can't go any further. You know what I'm saying? Then you get there and you go, oh, crud, can't go this way. Gotta go back, go over here, things like that. Think of it like, if you're looking down from the top, it's like a maze. In amongst the trees, there's certain places wagons can't go, and there's certain places they can go. And so you're finding your way, but you've had to stop 3 times and change direction.
Please don't get mad at me.
Rake and Janny. Bazor went with Terrence. So you're with them. You could ride out ahead of them, maybe 50 to 100 yards, and scout, stop them from running into some of those dead ends. It'll slow you down even more than what you're currently doing. You'd have to move at the wagon's pace. And then once you find a dead end, you turn around, you come back as fast as you want, tell them, and then you'd have to redirect the wagon before you get to the dead end. Okay. So you're going to be the wagon's advanced eyes, basically, to get through the woods as quickly as possible. You have navigation. Okay. Roll a d20. Okay. So you start picking out a pathway, a way where the trees are more in rows and they can make more ground with less stops. Roll driving the wagon again. Roll for Janny driving the wagon again. Okay. So between the two of you, you're communicating and you're steering her away from obvious dead ends that are like way down the road by the time she would see them. And you're picking the more obvious paths up close and staying, keeping the wagon. There's a place where you're passing kind of snugly, and there's places where it's a little more open, and you are picking the more open places and making pretty good time. They have left you. Like they are out of view, gone off into the sunset, as it were. Okay? And not sunset. Alright, it is past midday, probably between 1 and 2 o'clock, and so the sun is going towards the west, and the shadows of the trees are long. The temperature is 60 or so degrees, which is great for people in armor. I mean, that's about perfect. A little bit cooler at most. 50 is good. Below 50 start to feel kind of cold, kind of thing. Above 60, 70 degrees, then your body temperature can go up over 100 and you start feeling overheated inside plate mail. So that's good for armor, which is good if you have a cavalier who's in plate mail armor, and Jake has plate mail armor. And so the horses race through the woods. You figure you're definitely making better time than they are. Mark is doing the tracking, and he doesn't have to do any turning, hardly at all. I mean, just a little bit here and there, but he's very narrow compared to the horses. And so it actually seems like he's not really getting all that tired. There's times like in the hour that you ride, you see him stop 20 times, just standing waiting for you guys to catch up. So he's having no trouble navigating the woods. And he's stopping, checking tracks, and making sure that you're on the tail of the hobgoblins. They are going pretty point blank, pretty straight northeast. After an hour, Mark has disappeared out of view ahead of you, and then returns into view, and basically runs up to the riders, which is Jake, Brunson, Terrence with Bazor on the back, and Faze. Okay, so he runs up to your pack, and it's obvious that he's coming back to you, and right before he ever gets there, he's raising a hand, telling you to stop. Okay, and you're riding fast and hard, so like he tells you that when he's 50 yards away, he's like, whoa, 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 and you start slowing down, and by the time you actually stop, the group comes together. And he says, we're still on the right track. But ahead, there's a stream, a valley going down into it. The ford is east of here, almost a mile. But they didn't cross at the ford. It looks like they went straight across. So we're going to have to divert and go to the ford and then come back on path. So we got to go that way. He points generally east.
Our horses can't make it across?
I don't think so. It's about a 15-foot drop. I mean, you'd have to ride off the cliff. You could do it if you can coax your horses to do it. The cavalier pats the side of his horse, barding, chainmail barding. He says, "Lady would do it." Bezor just realized he's about to get a ride.
Well, then go. We'll ford the river and catch up to you.
Are you sure you'll get back on path?
We got Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. He says, "All right, I will press on. Are you coming with me, scrawny man?"
Yes.
Okay. I am taking the scrawny one with me.
Have fun.
There are like 3 people smaller than me in this group.
In this group? Only Janny, I think, is smaller than you.
Face.
Yeah.
Oh, Faye, he's pretty thin.
Faze.
Isn't he taller than you, though?
Oh, I thought you were.
How tall are you?
Yo, I'm a girl.
Oh, he's 5'6".
You are?
5'5".
How much do you weigh?
No.
I'm 5'5", and I weigh 130.
Okay, he's 5'6", so 1 inch taller than you, and weighs 168. You are far scrawnier than he is. You're 30 pounds spread over 1 inch scrawnier than he is. So you're like a giant donut in the middle, or otherwise you either have a giant donut in the middle, or otherwise he's just thicker top to bottom. One or the other. Okay.
He's thicker.
All right.
Years ahead.
So he presses on toward the cliff. All right, and you veer off in the direction that Mark was pointing. Okay, and Mark runs on ahead, and at about a 3/4 of a mile or so, you see him standing on a little ridge, and he's pointing down a slope. And you go ride down the slope, and you hit. Basically, I mean, it's not a stream; it's a river. It's 40 foot across. It's moving fairly rapidly. But it doesn't look real deep here.
He jumped the river.
Okay? And so you ride down to the river, and your horses go out onto the water, or into the water, I should say, and you need horsemanship. Okay, to make the river, you need 4 horsemanship rolls. If you fail 1 roll, you're washed downstream 10 feet. If you fail 2 rolls, you're out of control for D6 times, or 2d6 times 10 feet before you get another roll.
Alright.
Okay? So 4 rolls in a row. I'll roll for phase. Does somebody want to roll for phase?
Sure.
Natural 1.
What do you
4d20.
4d20?
Yep.
Nothing higher than a 6.
Woo! Brunson looks good.
Okay, natural 1.
Yep.
Natural 1.
Yep.
13.
Yep.
9.
Beautiful. You look great.
There's your natural 1.
18, 15, 11, and 17.
Oh my goodness. I'll teach him to be cocky.
Can I get experience points for my natural 1?
Okay. So phase is washed immediately down 10 feet, which isn't a horrible thing. And then he's working his way back, and he's crossing to the opposite side. What was the last high one? 17?
Yeah,
Was it the last one?
The last one was 15.
Okay.
Probably makes it. I mean,
it was
he's
like
got a high dex.
18.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, no, he doesn't. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, he's got 11 dex.
Ew.
Why did he take... Oh, no. Never mind. I was going to say, why did he take that instead of land-based riding? But his charisma not that either.
This
So.
is oh,
He's just not good.
I need a new dog.
He has 1 really high stat, 1 very high stat, and everything else is extremely medium or below.
His
See, this one's fun.
average
Near godly intelligence and extremely wise. Other than that, he's a piece of dirt.
near godly
This one's all
wisdom.
high.
No, he's
Oh,
only got
near-
7.
Nice, this
Near
one,
max.
like-
Near max one.
He probably rolled pretty crappy, it sounds like.
I think he might have 2 for 1. It looks
No, I'm
like.
saying
Yeah.
he rolled real crappy.
That's where at least all the con went.
All the con went to 2 for 1?
Yeah.
That'll teach you to min-max. You min-max, your horse gets washed downstream. That's what happens. Don't let your horse get washed downstream. It's like a cable commercial now. Okay.
Don't forget to try out one of our other Low Moon podcasts.
So he's 3/4 of the way across, and the horse balks and lifts its front legs in the water and comes back down, and then all of a sudden he's swept downstream 110 feet.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Bye, Phil.
He yells over his shoulder, "I'll be back!" He's swept down. Okay. Roll one more roll. Roll one more roll. If he fails this one, he'll be dislodged from his saddle, so don't fail this one.
He said never outraised.
7.
No problem. Okay. So he stays in the saddle downstream.
Oh, here he comes.
He is somewhat around the bend a little bit, and you see him trying to work, and basically just trying to get up on shore is what he's trying to do from there.
I'm sitting there having my horse do, the cantering tricks and stuff across the fjord. Face like swimming.
Chasing children?
I can sure.
Mark is jogging along stream. Yes.
Yeah.
As he's jogging along stream, you hear him yelling encouragements like,
Trick.
"Pull on the reins! Aim the horse's head the other way! Encourage the animal!
No, that's its butt.
Stronger! Encourage him stronger!
Is there any way we can
You're about to be washed around the corner!"
Is there any way we can help?
Not really. I mean, not without going out there, and now he's already 100 feet downstream, so you'd have to go down. You could go down to the curve and then cut into the water. Somebody was willing to go out in the fast-moving water again.
I'm about so far.
In any case, from the ridge, you hear, you just see him. He's about 120 feet away in the woods on the edge of the stream, but you hear Mark go, "Yes, that's it! That's it!" Here's back. Okay, meanwhile, I think you all are just waiting by the ford.
Keeping an eye out for hobgoblins.
Or we should probably keep moving. He's got Mark. We'll get lost without Mark.
Okay, so you're going to wait for Mark.
Probably.
I have no idea where I'm going.
I don't know. I say we rush on.
Okay. You're smarter than I am.
Yes, but am I wiser than you?
Probably.
I don't know. Okay, I guess we rush on.
All right, I love it.
Probably.
Oh, dear Lord. Maybe. No, it's the same.
Okay, the unwise riders rush on. Okay, so you're cutting back to approximately where the hobgoblin tracks are. Now, to be fair, you saw signs of the hobgoblin's passage. It wasn't obvious to you all the time, but there were plenty of signs of their passage. So you feel relatively confident that you can find signs of their passage again. Cutting through the woods. Okay.
Do we recognize this is the place where the Barons jumped?
Not yet. I mean, you're headed that way.
Oh.
Okay. Meanwhile, FaZe and Mark are navigating his horse out of the water. Okay. Bazor. On the back of Terrence's warhorse.
I thought I had horses.
Chainmail barding.
I don't. I have clan-based riding.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oops. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay, you rolled amazing anyway.
If you wanted to, I'll let you switch it right now, actually. What's your dex?
18.
You definitely want land-based riding. I mean, you definitely want horsemanship.
Right. But it's
Unless
not,
you want to
it's
be
not
able
the
to ride
same
it.
amount of slots, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. They're both one.
Sure.
Yep. The only weakness in land-based, or in the horsemanship, is it's only for horses. Literally, that's it.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything other good. So if you only want to ride horses, then you can switch it. But having a character with very low charisma and taking land-based riding is not necessarily a good call. Which is the problem that he's having.
Land-based riding is charisma +3.
Yeah, I think so.
12 or less.
Yeah, which is still not bad. Which is better than horsemanship then, right? What's your dex?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you'd still be better off with horsemanship, as long as you only want to ride horses. And that might have been the thing, you might have been picturing him riding an ostrich or something. I love that one, because we had an adventure once where the party, the entire party wanted riding ostriches, which worked out really good, because they had a lot of ground to cover, and ostriches are really fast.
Is that just Dex 0?
Yeah, Dex.
Dex straight up?
Yeah, straight up. Okay, so, he climbs to the top of the hill, and you're holding on for dear life. He walks right up to the edge, you push through the underbrush, And so the two of you are sitting on the back of the warhorse in the underbrush, and you look down below, and you see the raging stream down below you.
Okay.
It's about 20 feet wide here. It's at a bend, and it's going from left to right. You see some slipped stones on the other side to come up out of the water.
Okay.
He says, "What do you think?"
I don't know, it's your horse.
"Well, I'm not worried about the horse. Can you hold on?"
Oh, for sure.
"All right. Lady,
You're not, like,
we're going to go swimming,"
illusioning something
she says.
else here.
He turns and trots back down the hill. Okay? He aims the horse up the hill right toward that same spot in the underbrush. It slips a little bit going up the rock. There's some moss that comes out from underneath, but then gets momentum pretty good. And at the last second, right as it goes out, he pulls it up slightly on the rein and spurs hard on the horse, and the horse's back legs coil and snap like a spring. And suddenly you're launched out into the air over top of the water. No danger of falling off at first.
Until you start going down.
Nice and gradual. You're like, oh, is this... Interested in giving financially to Low Moon and support the campaign? Text LMGIVE, that's LMGIVE, to 419-419-0095. So it's got a funny feeling in your stomach, like lifting, sort of like your tummy, stuff in your tummy is sitting at the top instead of the bottom.
Oh, that's just the last meal you ate coming back up.
Okay? And the horse starts to go forward, and Terrence says to you, as he charged up the hill, he did put his visor down on himself. He goes, "Come, here we go." Anyway, then you go out into the water, out over the water, and the horse starts to careen forward like this, down toward the water. And he turns his head, he says, "Lean back!"
The horse does backflips.
you need to make a con check.
Somewhere
Not or less.
Josh, somewhere in the top of the hill.
Okay, so he slams his armor back into your chest and stomach, and all of a sudden, all the air rushes out of your lungs, so he slammed back into you, and then you need to roll a d6.
So just holding up children. This children's 10 years
Okay,
old. This one's
you're
9
holding
years
on
old.
to him,
This one's
and you're leaning
9
back,
and a half years
and like you look down, and there's nothing under you, just straight down to the water, and all of a sudden, you see the water is rising up very fast, and so you're sort of leaning back sideways on the horse, and the water hits you in the face and the right side, and the horse hits the water hard, and there's a huge goosh. And you and both of you, Terrence, and the horse are all underwater for a minute. I mean, the water here is plenty deep. Okay, roll a d20.
6.
Okay, you clutch onto him for dear life, and the horse rises back up to the surface and begins to kick and swim. And
It's wearing chainmail.
and there's the horse, and
Yeah, but it's
it's getting some purchase, and it's moving forward, and the water is rushing by. You need one d20 versus strength in order to actually not be swept off of the horse.
I have to take my worst stat. And I failed by 8.
Okay, so basically you're clutching onto the back of his cape. Remember, he wears a cape. You're clutching onto the back of his cape, and you're being swept out down the stream as the horse is riding up and out onto the slippery rocks. And if the cape fails its save, you will be swept downstream. If it makes its save, you will be hanging on the cape as the horse comes up out of the water.
Don't worry, Phase will stop you.
Oh, natural 1. Okay.
So it makes it save?
No, that failed to save.
Oh.
It goes dang, and the cape lets go,
I got a
and you're
natural
holding on to the cape, and you're being swept down the stream. Okay.
Okay.
Roll dex, d20 versus dex.
Bye, Basil.
Made it by 15.
Okay. And so you turn or face your feet downstream just in an instinct so that your feet are going downstream as you're being swept with the current. That way if you hit a rock or something, and sure enough, there's a tree that's a broken down tree and roots that's sticking out from the left-hand side, and you're basically being swept into it. And so you need a...
That's Eric guy.
you need a dex check to avoid being stabbed through by jagged root pieces from the tree.
A dex check?
Yep. Dex or less.
Maybe exactly.
Okay, so basically what happens is there's a spot in between the roots, and you put your foot there, and you basically bounce yourself off out into the water, and then you're being spun like a top out in the current. You're trying to get your feet back downstream, and you do brush a rock that's partially submerged, and it scrapes your shoulder for 1 point of damage.
Oh, no casting this round.
Okay.
I mean, not that I could cast underwater anyway.
Roll a d20.
4.
Okay, yes, there's a lot of burbling going on and gasping for air, and you're struggling and trying to swim against the fast current, which is the fast current. And then, all of a sudden, you come jerking to a stop.
Okay.
Roll a d20, strength plus 2.
8 by 7.
Okay, so you're hanging onto a limb, a thin piece of wood, but then you realize that the wood is polished, it's shiny, and it is attached to an axe head that's embedded into a large tree on the shore.
Oh, wow!
And you realize you're holding on to the handle of Eric, and he's stuck his head into a heavy wooden tree. The water's rushing past you, barreling down, your underwear is soaked, I mean, the water's going down your shirt, and going in your mouth, your face. You're just holding on.
Get out of there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Okay, he says, let Eric help you.
Out of the water!
Your axe is a better party member than you are.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Let Eric swim for you.
It's my axe, so... All the experience...
The axe has a higher ego score than you. I'm pretty sure that it's human.
Okay, so you...
Higher level than all of us in the party.
Yeah.
You're barely holding on to the axe, and you agree to let him help you, and all of a sudden the axe head slips free, and you swing it like you're swinging it in combat, and you swing it over your head, and the force of swinging the axe jerks on both your shoulders, and you wind up launched up out of the water with the axe embedded in the top of the tree. And you roll a saving throw versus death magic.
He just yanks both his arms out of the socket.
What is that?
It's the
Paralyzed, poison, death magic.
I want lower?
Or higher.
Oh, I got 11.
Okay, so you failed your save?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take half a point of structural.
Oh. But you can tree port, man. Tree port.
Okay. And now your top, just your feet are dangling in the water, but you can easily climb up and out, but your shoulders hurt really bad. Both shoulders.
I'll get over that.
Okay.
I would have made mine on an 11.
One on each.
Mine's 9.
He's trying to kill.
Wait, what's...
Mason.
2 points of damage, one on each shoulder. Basically wrenched your shoulders.
Are my arms still usable? Like, in regular
It just
fashion?
hurts really bad.
Okay.
Do that again, you could die.
If you do that, you do that again, you could put a bone, like, you could break a rib, put a bone through a lung, snap your neck.
I have one right now. I've had one for a while.
Chest wound. They suck.
Yeah.
I have like a bone
Well, I
or
guess
something
I'll
on
pick myself up and start walking back towards where he was jumping across.
Okay. From the other, you're on the back on the southwest side of the stream, and from the other side you hear, "Are you okay, Scotty man?"
Yes! I believe you dropped your cape.
Kaisas, that was magical!
Do I have it in a still?
I sure know. Hard wash downstream.
Okay.
What?
You sure?
Well, at least you're alive.
Ask what kind of magic it was.
Let me throw you a rope.
Do I need a rope?
Well, you're on the opposite side of the stream. If you want to get to
I'm
this
back
side,
on the side we were on before? Okay. Okay, throw it, please.
Okay.
You're terrible at this water thing.
Alright, so he gets his toilet rope out, throws it across. It lays across the tree. You can easily snatch it up.
Put Eric back.
These are definitely not an aquamancer.
An aquamancer. An aquillusionist.
Hydromancer.
Okay, so you tie the rope off and then you use it. It takes a good 3 to 5 minutes.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Meanwhile, elsewhere, you are guiding, you're going ahead and coming back and going ahead and making sure the wagon stays on course. And they're making pretty good time that way. But you come to a point where you hit a stream.
Well, then that's what's
Oh,
going
no.
on.
And so you realize you're going to need a ford. So you go along it, and you find a spot where you can ford across the
How long does it take them to ride
the water. What?
How long does it take them to ride a mile?
No more than 2 minutes.
They ride a mile back towards us too.
Yep.
5,000 miles.
And a half.
Well, it took them 4
So
minutes to cross the stream too.
75.
Hey, us too.
Okay. Anyway, so you find the ford, you go back, and the pathway down from where you're at to where the ford is not too bad. So you go back and guide the wagon to go that way. Okay. Meanwhile, the two of you find what you believe is the path of the hobgoblins, and you start on it again at pretty good pace.
Totally got this.
You do not see
Especially
Terrence or Bazor. Right. But they'll catch up. You know they're behind you. You left them behind to come get back on the trail. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the two of you are riding heroically after the hobgoblin troop.
Wait a minute, this is heroically? Oh, crap.
We got this, Brunson.
Alright, go ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Okay.
All right. You get across the rope. He coils the rope up, puts it away. He offers you his arm to climb back up on the horse.
That's so
He says, I am extremely disappointed I lost that cake.
Me too.
That's what he did.
Okay.
I rolled horribly.
Yeah.
Let me do it, kids.
Okay.
7.
And so, the wagon arrives at the ford. Alright, so you have to roll 4 times. If you fail 1 time, you're washed downstream. We'll just say 10 feet again, even though it's 2
More
horses.
than what number?
Well, you don't have the skill, correct? So you're actually doing it off of charisma minus 3. So what is your charisma? Pretty good, I think.
Can't you proficient in wagons by now?
No.
With her
You need like
a proficiency slot?
She's
Which
been
one is charisma? How many's
The
out?
bottom one.
the bottom one that has its own box.
so it's
Okay, so it's 15. The 18 is come with us. That's how good looking you are. So the
You're
15
very-
is your
you're
charisma,
very
but it's minus 3, so you need 12 or less.
child. That's what you are.
3,
No problem.
11,
No problem.
1,
No problem.
7.
Okay.
Hey!
You should roll for your own character, not Faye's, apparently. The moral of the story is I roll better when rolling for my own character. Okay.
I guess
Alright, so you Rake is pretty impressed. He's like, for a little girl, you can really drive a wagon.
I'm such a little girl. I have totally not killed anybody. I'm just really inspired.
Are you trying to lull me into a sense of self-confidence? You don't have to do that. I'm Brunson's friend.
Oh, that's Brunson.
Keep
That's
being Brunson's
Brunson.
friend.
I don't know you like that. So.
Yeah, if we survive all this, perhaps you could teach me how to drive a wagon. I've just never bothered to learn. And then lately, there's been a lot going on in this area, so I've really been putting my sword to work.
So again, I just got away.
I need 5 gold pieces
What you're saying is,
per hour.
Now, how many hours will it take? Okay. Anyway, so then you're navigating back in the general direction. Meanwhile, the two of you are riding hell-bent for leather after the hobgoblins.
yeah.
Okay?
Him in front.
Yeah, he's in front. Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Brunson, you're better at this tracking stuff than I am.
In what world does that make sense?
You're all like hairy and stuff. So did you live out in the woods?
He's calling you. He's calling you.
You're better at tracking because you're hairy, so you must have lived in the woods.
He's saying Bigfoot.
Just checking to make sure the veins not about to explode out of my forehead.
And then he's to Brunson.
Perhaps we should wait for the others.
I thought we had this. Come on.
Okay.
I bet you that Terrence Foe was
Both of
leaning
you,
on ahead.
both of you can roll a d20, please.
Are you calling this Bigfoot?
13.
11.
Okay. So both of you are aware of a smell of smoke.
smell that smoke?
What?
You
Is
don't
it
see
Weird.
it,
Something
but
in
you
a
smell it.
backyard barbecue.
smoky?
Which way's the wind blowing?
Out of the north.
What direction is it?
From ahead of you to the left. Sorry. Forget directions. What are you going to do?
That direction.
Go that way?
We can't see anything.
No, you don't see any smoke either yet.
Is it windy?
Are you continuing to ride while you're thinking about it, or do you
Yeah,
slow
probably
down?
not a breakneck speed.
Okay. The further you go, the stronger the sensation that there's smoke.
Hope they're not eating one of the children right now.
That'd be bad.
Yeah, we should probably hurry up.
Okay. Quicken our pace a little bit.
Okay.
How does using free magic work? Do I still have to cast the spell?
No, if you have a free magic to completely pay for it, you need one transfer roll, and it's instantaneous like druid magic.
Oh, sweet. But I can't cast another spell at the same time.
Correct. And of course, you can only do spells that you know and have cast at one time. Just something you can transfer to.
Continual light.
And don't you have a continual light point? Well, then you're not useless. You're not useless magically then.
But it's daytime.
But continual light on your eyes still really sucks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's only a one-shot
What if
deal.
I
but-
accidentally miss and hit one of the children? It'd be terrible.
Yeah, but if you miss, it doesn't hit somebody. It just goes in the air. But then you would not have it on your point.
It's in past.
You get permanently daylighty area in the forest. Okay. All right. So you head on. Meanwhile, back in the camp, they have packed up all the wagons. They're taking some goods that look like maybe they were bandit supplies and stuff that, so they're not making out horribly. There's two women and an older man that are most concerned about the lost kids. Appear to be their kids, basically, or the older man might be his grandson. Are you doing anything else?
I guess I just help them on get back to the town.
Okay. They're getting pretty ready to roll out. Got the horses all hitched, the wagon's loaded up. They don't have enough for everybody to ride in the wagons, so they're going to be walking. And you know that, it's not that far. To take the trail, it's a mile, 2 miles. If you go directly through the woods, which is tough because the wagons might not fit, but it's only a few hundred yards to the edge of town. It's really not that far from here.
Well, I will discuss with the villagers which route they want to take.
They'll take the trail.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Too dangerous to break a wagon wheel or lame a horse.
Meanwhile, we're jumping off cliffs into rivers.
You think that one of the women who has a missing child, at one point you might have caught her glowering in your direction.
Fun.
You are not the savior of Wellwind or wherever we're at.
You may be the savior of Wellwind, but you are not the savior of the children of Wellwind. Okay. All right. Back in the woods.
When are you going to become the mayor lady?
You are she crosses the river, and then you have to forward your horse across the river. They roll 4 times. Each missed roll, the first missed roll you go off by 10 feet. Second one is off by 2d6 times 10 feet, and third one you're off your horse. If you
12,
no problem.
14,
I think that's okay with your charisma.
Charisma 16,
Oh yeah, you're 19 or less. Language right.
9,
And lastly,
7.
okay. As you were crossing the stream, you noticed a red piece of cloth floating in the water.
I think it's odd, so I'm going to try to get it.
Okay, just roll dex. If you make it, you won't have to roll another land-based writing check.
Wasn't that favorite?
18, and my dex is 7.
Okay, so you need a land-based writing check to see if that caused you to lose control of the horse.
1.
No problem.
Nice. Wow.
So you have it sloppily, but you have it, and you're up out of the water.
Does it look familiar to me after I grab it?
Yeah, once you get it out, you realize it's Terrence's cape.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but that doesn't bode well. You get a sinking feeling.
I want to hurry. This is the one guy's cape.
Take the one guy's cape. Doesn't even know his name.
Wasn't it?
Yep, that's it.
Alright.
What's his cape doing in the river? Right there.
Terrence will be hurt.
I don't like that guy. I was thinking about stabbing him, but he seemed friendly to Brunson, so I left him alone.
Oh, you really like Brunson, don't you?
Yeah, Brunson and I are friends.
You're devoted.
From what he was.
For 24 hours until he gets another save.
But if he fails it, you're devoted follower for a year.
Who else needs to cross the stream besides?
That's it. You're ready to go.
Alright,
Okay.
let's go.
So you're going to go back on the trail, basically. Back to track. All right?
Charm works for a day, and then if they fail that save, then it'll work for a month.
Oh my.
You get one new save after 24 hours.
And then I'm on a year.
No. It depends on after that depends on your combined intelligence and wisdom. So
Aubrey charmed Morpheus for a day.
no, actually he failed his second save.
Really? So it's a month?
Yeah. So he was charmed for a month, and then they, or actually what they did was they charmed him again.
Really?
In the meantime, yeah. In the 24 hours, they did additional charm person on him, so that actually four or five of them until they finally got him to fail one, and then that made it last for a month, and then at the end of that, they kind of guessed, well, he must have failed to save, but he didn't.
He was just playing everything.
He played everybody for about 3 years.
Oh yeah. Morpheus.
Poor Brunson.
What did Morpheus
by
do?
some guy who thinks they're friends.
He was charmed by the party, which is the only thing that saved him, because he rolled a 1 on his save throw. He was an archmage, evil archmage, and he was trying to kill the party because the party killed his wife. And
What's
so
his wife?
charmed him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was teacher at the necromancy university that he went.
On the daily.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they had a Dracolich
Yeah,
in the
Dracula.
basement.
Necro you.
Necro you, buddy.
NCU.
All right. Anyway, you're working your way back on the path. Terrence and Bazor are headed on the path, and Jake and Brunson are headed on the path. Okay.
Yep.
You're following the smell of smoke, but you also realize it seems to basically be the same direction of what you're going.
And Mark and Face
That's not good.
are washed down straight.
Yes, they're coming. They're behind you. They're way back. They're actually behind the wagon now. So they'll probably catch up. They'll pass the wagon here in a minute. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They'll pass the wagon in a minute. Well, Mark could go directly if he needs to, but he'll probably stay with Faze if Faze isn't wrong. Faze tracks on the track.
Comments for you.
No, he doesn't track. So.
Face in the track or
No comments for
Faze
you.
doesn't track.
All comments.
But he doesn't add me.
and he can become a tree
Strawberry shortcake.
or make us all look like trees.
Is that other thing?
You
No.
can be true. You can't do everything. That's the other
I want some strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
That's the-
Anyway,
Oh.
all right. You top a rise and look down a slope, and across the slope, in a hollow, basically inside of the hill with some trees and some rocks around it, is a campsite. And the campsite, you see what looks to be a half dozen hobgoblins, and they have a fire burning, and they have 3 captives tied up to the one side in plain view.
We don't see the 4th term.
No. But they don't. They also do not appear to have anything cooking on the fire.
Hope they're not done.
Okay. So it's about 150 yards away, across a sparsely treed area. It's much more open than what you've been riding.
How many of them are there?
6 or so, it looks like.
Either way, we can't sort of negotiate. I've got to really not feel like they're
Both of you roll for surprise.
If you fail, you die. Instantly. Instant death.
Oh. 4.
Not surprised. Okay, both roll horsemanship.
Made it.
20.
Okay. So all of a sudden you hear sounds of movement, horse hoofs, rattling of chain coming behind you at pretty fast pace. You wheel and look, and you see it's Terrence and Bazor catching up to you. However, your horse responds poorly to the new sensations and is currently out of control. Like you're not seated firmly in the saddle. If you fail again, you'll be thrown. And you need a second check at -4.
And not nearly as good as Lance. 9.
Okay, so you made it, right? Yeah, 9 + 12, so you made it. Okay, so you managed to get the horse back under control. Probably didn't make it happy. May have hurt its mouth a little bit from the bit. Pulling hard on the reins, that kind of thing.
So I give him an extra sugar.
Abuse.
Okay? But anyway, Terrence wheels up his horse next to you Bazor is on the back, and you notice Bazor is soaked.
Poor
So first one,
Joe.
Bazor.
Oh,
Figure it
well,
out.
Terrence is
Yes,
wet.
I say it's
Yeah,
Terrence.
Terrence is wet too, but
Did we
Bazor
pass
is
on
more
that?
soaked than that.
Did we pass
No, you haven't caught up yet.
Well, we found them. They're in that little hollow up there.
Looks that way. I count 6.
They had 4 children. I only see 3.
Uh-oh.
Did they split up?
Oh, 'cause I think that's all the hobgoblins are worth.
I think they said 8.
Oh, did they?
We're missing 2 hobgoblins and 1 captive.
Yes.
On to scout ahead? Why would they take a captive to scout ahead?
Maybe the other one baited with them and not.
Possible. I don't know. I'll ride in there and kill them and find out.
I'll go with you.
Jake and I will ride in there and kill them and find out.
One of them looked bigger than the
If
other.
there are 2, where the other 2 hobgoblins are and where the other captain is. What? No. All of them
Why
were too
would
much.
only 2 of us go find out?
Looks like their leader's missing.
And then the right.
That could be important. I prefer to kill the leaders first.
But he's probably somewhere with the other child.
Right. That could be a problem.
Wherever Charlotte's here.
He's some distance away. We can kill him before he comes back. Kill all of those 6 before he comes back. I will only need 10 minutes. Can you apply your sorceress trade to protect me in some way while I engage them?
Put my hair in my hood.
Brunson put a lot of effort.
I'm running low on that sorcerer's effort.
Well, one should never rely on those tactics anyway.
What do I say?
Sometimes
But
you
it's-
use that.
Okay? Meanwhile, you're navigating the wagon through the woods to Charlotte's aid, and FaZe and Mark catch up to you.
Aren't you guys in front of us?
FaZe looks very
We
wet.
still are.
Mark says, FaZe's horse had some difficulty with navigating the stream.
Hey, so you want to ride in the wagon?
No, I am an accomplished horseman. It's this cursed steed.
Person Steve.
Whatever, let's just go.
His mother was far less than a thoroughbred, I'm certain of it. Yes, I'm talking about you, you beast.
Hello, I'm the
I don't like that talk.
Let's get going before Jane stabs you.
She is better.
You're not old enough to have any strong-formed likes or dislikes yet.
I just like.
You've been off the bottle for what, 2 years?
That's hilarious. It's like, you're too young to have strong dislikes or likes yet. And she goes, I dislike you. That's like the perfect response.
He says, well, at least it's a good start.
Let's get going. I'm not trying.
I was thinking the same thing.
No, you weren't. No, you were. No,
Charlie's already left then.
Okay. She's like, I'm done with this guy. All right.
I said to Mark, we have to keep in mind a cast accessible to the wagon.
Okay. Can you do that so I can get on ahead again?
Yeah.
I only fell behind because FaZe's horse is not a thoroughbred.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on phase 2. Can you track to the hobgoblins? Can you track them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been going okay.
Alright. I'll keep an eye on phase in the wagon. You can go ahead. 'Cause
Okay, he runs on ahead. And he's gone maybe 30 seconds, and FaZe is riding with you, and then all of a sudden he kind of spurs his horse on and moves ahead faster than the pace that you and the wagon are going.
if you get lost, I'm not finding you.
I'm following Mark!
Someone's supposed to be smart. Alright, Danny, let's get this
Joke, but I can't think of one right now.
Let's go.
Alright, so you go on down and you turn on the Hobgoblin Trail, which is pretty obvious. You're having no trouble tracking it. And you see FaZe and Mark disappearing into the distance ahead of you in the woods. Okay. So you have the 4 of you. 6 hobgoblins. 2 hostages. Parents has volunteered to go down and kill the hobgoblins.
And going with them.
Okay?
Why don't you go faster the all do it?
Come through.
He is a courageous thin one.
Sometimes a bit too much, so.
Alright, we'll ride down in. You need to jump off the back of the horse as quickly as possible because I move around quite a bit when I'm killing hobgoblins.
Yeah, I prefer not to the other horse.
Do you want me to drop you off before I charge in?
Sure.
We're just
Not too far away, though.
You'll have to hit the ground. You'll have to hit the ground running because I'll be at full charge for the last 40 yards once I break that line of trees.
I don't think that actually makes you go faster.
What?
When you run.
It's a metaphor.
So are we going to take them mounted?
Speaking figuratively, whatever he says is a metaphor. What?
So we're going to take them mounted?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
My butt prefers the saddle.
Noted. All right. I'm ready when you are.
Let me take the lead. I want to get at least one or two with the lance.
By all means.
All right.
Bronson, are you coming with us? Reluctantly.
Okay. Well, you bring up the rear. Try to be useful. I understand you put in a significant effort recently.
I ain't come out here for show.
I thought we all did.
You're not here.
All right. Okay. So you're trotting down, not too rapidly at first, so as not to draw too much attention as you're working through that first little patch of trees and stuff, and then as you get to the other side, you see it is thinning out even more. You get to the point where you're going to see 3 or 4 trees between you and actually breaking out into a kind of a grassy area, and then up into the little knoll that their camp is in. Okay? At that point, he says to Bazor, "Better dismount. Here I go."
I jump off.
Okay? All right, so your range is between 40 and 50 yards. And you have a couple trees for cover if you want them.
That was a shot, right?
Okay. The maniacal illusionist! Alright. He said, okay. As he charges forward, he nods his head, his visor falls down into place. Looses his sword in its sheath. It's rattling a little bit. He's getting ready to lower the lance. Okay. Thundering up the hill. Meanwhile, the two of you are in the woods, and you begin to smell smoke. You think? Now you're a little bit ahead of the wagon, and you got to cut back to where she is, but you begin to smell smoke.
Can I see the tracks differ from where the smoke is?
Say that again.
Are the hobgoblin tracks going in the same direction as the
They
smoke?
appear to be, yes. And also the horses of the people that are in front of you.
Also marking place.
To be clear, you've not seen any human tracks, like no prisoner tracks.
Well, they're kids. I figure hobgoblins will probably hear them.
A possibility.
We're getting good eats tonight.
Okay. So, go back to the wagon the next time, mention it, and then just keep on going in that direction. All right? So, just so everyone's aware time-wise, you're looking at probably close to 3 o'clock, between 3 and 3:30, and the sun is on the edge of the mountains to the west. And so it will get dark here. You'll be the deep shadows of the mountains within the next half an hour.
So we're going to
So that'll not over by then.
After an hour.
Okay. All right. And the 4 of you who are engaging the hobgoblins may roll initiative. Checking them for surprise. Okay. One of the hobgoblins is surprised, which means we will have surprise segments. Okay.
You only affect the ones that are surprised during the surprise.
No, you can affect anybody, but then they can affect you too. So everybody gets their full attack. It just happens. Think of it like really sped up fast. Think of it like 5th edition. Okay. But you can only cast, if you're casting a spell in a surprise round, then you can only cast 1 segment spell. Otherwise, it will stretch into multiple surprise segments. Okay? So, the first surprise segment is going to be eaten up by closing distance. But the second surprise segment will be the 3 hobgoblins who are not surprised have stepped up and they're brandishing large axes. You see they're wearing splint mail. They have bows and composite bows and arrows. They have like plate mail helms, axes, and shields actually. So the lance will go first, and he'll attack one of the guys who's not surprised. Okay, and he'll hit. So there's a huge crack as the lance slams home into partly the shield and partly the chest of the guy that he attacked. The hobgoblin is obviously killed instantly, and then he drops the lance, and he was at full charge, and is moving on past. He'll be drawing his longsword, but you have your longsword already out, so you can take one, assuming you were charging with him, you can take one attack with the longsword.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
Pretty low.
Interested in giving financially to Low Moon and support the campaign? Text LMGIVE, that's LMGIVE, to 419-419-0095. Pastor Dan here. I am the Game Master and podcaster for Low Moon and More. Thanks for choosing this podcast. I hope you'll enjoy it. So wherever you're at in the story, I hope you'll pay close attention to detail. Effort has been made to camouflage the most important things amongst the day-to-day adventuring and growth of our adventuring parties. You might be listening to an Origins, you might be listening to an Uprising, you might be listening to an Outsiders, you might be listening to a Palace Pages, and by the time you get this, you may be picking up on yet another group, as all of these are functional in the over 3-decade Low Moon campaign, the adventures, truly, of a young country called Low Moon, and the way it revolutionized its world, and perhaps is on the way to revolutionizing the galaxy. This is going to be fun.